Hello everyone, my name is Michael from PolygonIsland, and today I'm going to be showing you the process of how I made myself into this angel thing. I'm calling it an angel. So let's get right into this. So the first step of how I made myself into an angel thing in Blender is the face builder add-on for Blender. Now this is a paid add-on, but there's a 30-day free trial, so you can download it and use it for 30 days, however much you like. So yeah, you go ahead and download this, and then you would install it like any other add-on. I'm not really going to go over that. I'm going to go over it. Edit, preferences, add-ons, and then you go to install. And then that's it. You just go to the zip file, don't extract it or anything, and then install it. Now, when you get to the Face Builder add-on, you'll have to download a certain thing. Basically, just click download from online or download from internet or something, and it will download it, and it'll be fine. The next thing you want to do to use that add-on, basically, is you would hit Shift A, or you can hit N and go down to Face Builder right here and select Face Builder Head. But I usually just hit Shift A, Mesh, and then Face Builder Head, and then that will add in a new head for you right here. It kind of looks a little bit creepy. I'm gonna go ahead and delete. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this though. And we're gonna look at my head. So basically, looking at my head without any textures, my face shape is a little bit wonky. I'm aware, but basically, once you have your head, you're gonna want your face on your head. So, how do you do that? What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have yourself or someone else. Someone else is highly recommended, but you can do it yourself. It just might turn out a little bit weird. You need to take as many angles of your face as possible. If you can't take a ton of angles, at least get the front, sides, back, and top. Those are the main 4 angles because those are the most people are going to look at your face. But the more angles, the better. The more you're going to be able to line it up, and the more you're going to be able to get an accurate shape of your face. So when you have your face builder head, you just click on the head, and then under views, you can click. You'll have these. You won't have these images, obviously, but you will have this little add images button. I don't really know what allow facial expressions does, so I just clicked it. I'm not sure, but hey, it's better safe than sorry. Basically, what you would want to do is just click this Add Images button. This little thing would come up, and you would just type in whatever you saved your file as or whatever your file name is on your computer. There's multiple ways to get it on your computer from a phone or camera. If you're using a camera, you can use an SD card. If you're using a phone, you can just upload it to something and then download it on your computer, or you could email it to yourself. But just type in or just find your photos, and then they'll be right here. So when you have this, what you can do is you can click on one of the pictures, and you can see right here, this isn't a very good example, but basically, normally, you would have a face right here and an image in the background. Now, this face, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and save this file, and I'm going to open a new one, and I'm going to add a face builder head right here, and then I'm going to go over here and add images, and I'm just going to go to where I have the front of my face saved, and just open it. Once you have all your pictures in, pretend I have all my pictures in and I just don't have one picture. You can just click on the image and you can see it brings up the image. I know I'm not looking too hot right here, but I just have this image and I had my hair pulled back so my hair wouldn't get in the way because we're going to add the hair later on. If you don't have your hair in the way of your facial features, you can add your hair later on using particle systems. But once we have this little window open and you can see yourself, we can see that we have this head right here. Now this head is going to be how you're matching to your actual head. So it gives you controls right here. Left click is to create a pin, right click is to delete a pin, and tab is to hide and show. It basically just hides and shows the face. So once you have this, your next step is to start setting it to your face. So what I would recommend to do is to first do the eyes, nose, and mouth, and then do ears, and then the actual shape of your head. So what you would want to do is you would want to click on the center of the nose, which is what I do first, and just bring it up to the center of your nose. It doesn't have to be exact. You can keep fixing it later on as you add more points. But once you have that, you can start moving on to the eyes, and you can click this little edge of the eye right here, and then match it up to where your edge of the eye is, and then take the back end, and then match it to where the back end of your eye is, and then just do this. Keep doing this. Keep matching it up, and then once you have that, you can match up your lips. I'm doing a very poor job about this because I'm not really trying. And then basically just match up your ears and stuff. Basically just make sure your face is lined up as best as you can. Just make sure it's lined up. It's okay if it's a tiny bit off because we're not going to be looking very, very close at it. But just keep doing this. Now I'm not going to do this full thing because I've already done it. And for the sake of the length of this tutorial, just keep doing this. For all of your sides, for your lefts and rights, just line the nose up and then line everything up. Line the eyes up second after your nose, otherwise the angle could be weird and your face might not, the little 3D face might not turn. But once you have that, and once you have all your stuff, you have these little options right here. If you mess up, you can reset the camera angles, you can reset the expression, or you can remove all the pins if you mess up, or you could just go right click them individually and then remove them like this or like this and such like that. So let's go back into our file where I have this angel right here. And now we're going to move on to hair. So hair, like I mentioned before, in the pictures, keep your hair out because the hair is not going to transfer to a 3D object. We're going to do the hair with particle systems. Excuse me. Now, if you've never worked with particle systems before, if you've never worked with hair with particle systems before, particle systems are definitely not the best way to do hair, but it's by far the easiest way to do hair. It won't give you the most realistic, amazingly stunning looking hair like I got right here. I know my hair looks kind of bad right now, but anyway. How do we put the hair on the head is what I'm getting to. So first, you're going to select your head. That's always good to make sure that your hair is selected or your head is selected. And then go up here to the top left where it says Object Mode, and then go to Weight Paint. Now, once you go to Weight Paint, if you have just... One thing I should point out. Oh, I forgot to do this. Basically, on your head... Once you have your head lined up and everything, you're going to want to go down here to this little texture tab, and then click Create Texture. Make sure all of your images are selected, and then click Automatically Apply the Created Texture. You can also export the texture if you want, but that's not needed, I guess. But yeah, just click Create Texture, and that'll assign the texture to your head. And now we can go to Weight Paint mode. So in Weight Paint mode, basically what you're going to want it to do is you have these brushes up here. The main ones you're going to want to use are Add and Subtract. Subtract is for taking away, Add is for adding. And then basically just paint where your hair grows. This is going to be different for like everybody because everybody's hair grows in different places. But normally it's over here on the sides and then like over here, and there's a tiny, tiny little gap in the middle where it comes out. And then all through the back, behind the ears, behind the ear over here, and through the neck right here. Also, make sure to watch for where your hairline is. The biggest thing I recommend for this is to be in texture preview or material preview mode while you're doing this, so that way you can actually draw on where your hairline is instead of just guessing on the head where your hair is. It makes it a lot easier and stuff like that. So once you have marked where all your hair wants to be, if you have multicolored hair or you have hair that is split dyed like I do, then you're going to want to make two particle systems of hair. So just do one side and then go down here to this vertex group, little icon, this little triangle, click this plus and add a new group, and then just do the same thing on the other side. So once you have that, all you're going to want to do is just go down to this little particle system right here, this little dot with 3 dots coming out of it, and you won't have any of this. You're going to have to add a particle system. So just click this little plus right here. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to use an example of the particle system I already have. But just click this little plus down here. It'll automatically be set to emitter. But just select hair, because that's the particles we're going to be using. Emitter is like actual particles, like little balls. Hair is like strands that come out. You won't have these little options right here because you haven't posed your hair yet. But down here on emission, you can basically keep all this the same except for the hair length. The hair length that's automatically going to be set on 4 meters. You're going to want to change this depending on your hair length. I can't give you a actual amount, but 0.5 is like here, pretty much to your chin. I've cut it a little bit in particle posing settings, but like to your chin basically is 0.5, and then 1 meter would be over pretty much to your shoulders. Yeah, it just depends on what type of hair you have, and stuff like that. So under render, keep this the same, except under material, just basically go to your head object, make a new material. Instead of it being principled BSDF, change it to principled hair BSDF. You can keep all these settings the same, really, except for the color. Just change the color to whatever color hair you have. And then go back to the particle settings and then change that material to whatever your hair material is called. I just have mine called material 2. You might have yours called as hair_matte or hair material. I don't know. And then under path, you can change the steps up a little bit to give it a little bit better quality. But that's not really going to do anything. But viewport display, the strand steps, if you turn this up to maybe something like 7, you can see that it's changed the quality of the hair. So if I change it back down to 2, you can see it's very, very pointy and jagged. But if I change it back up to 7, it's very, very flowy and luxurious. I have 2 separate particle systems for both sides of my hair, so that's why this one isn't affected. But once you have that, you can just go down under to children. I would recommend adding children to your hair. That sounded weird. I would recommend adding children to your hair, because if you don't, it's going to make your hair look very, very empty and not full. So if you add an interpolated children thing, change the display amount to whatever you think looks good, and then render the amount to the same, then you should be good. I don't. Long hair basically just kind of poofs your hair up. I don't really use it. You can if it makes it look good, but yeah. Parting and stuff. Parting, clumping, roughness, and kink. Parting basically just shows how your hair is parted. So I'm gonna change that down to 0.34. Clumping is basically if your hair clumps together. If your hair clumps together. Roughness, I don't really use this. I don't really know what it does, and therefore I can't go over it. But feel free to experiment. If you find out what it does, you can tell me. Kink, basically your hair's shape, pretty much. So if I change it to like curl or something, you can see my hair curls up into this like very, very curly hair. You can also change it to radial, which kind of moves it like this. Wave, yeah, you get the point. I just have this on nothing. And then down here, the next thing you're going to want to do is mess with vertex groups. So vertex groups, density. Density is where your hair is. So this is how we are actually going to get the hair to not be all like spiky. So when you put it on, see, if I change this, you can see the hair is basically all over the place. But if I put it back on that group, it goes back to where it was. Now, obviously your hair won't be shaped correctly. It'll still be pointing out. So how do we fix that? Basically, we just go to object mode and then particle edit. And you can see it removes the children from your hair. So you're only left with the base particles of your hair, which is kind of good and kind of bad. It's kind of good as in you don't have as much hair to work with, but it's kind of bad as in sometimes the children can go places. Like you can see through here, like there's hair right here, but if I go back into particle edit, there's no hair right there. I kind of look like a balding troll doll right now. But basically just mess with this as much as you want. Basically, the comb tool is how it sounds. It's basically proportional editing, but for hair particles. You can just move it like this, and different stuff. Just move it to whatever shape you want. The next one is smooth. If you want to smooth out your hair, so it's not as like pointy or spiky, you can do that. The next is add. This is where you add hair. You can just add hair wherever. I'm not going to do that. The next is length. It's self-explanatory. Basically, it grows your hair. Next is puff. It basically just puffs out your hair. Cuts the hair. All these are very self-explanatory, but I'm going over them anyway. Cut hair, yeah, basically it just cuts the hair. And then weight. I'm not sure what this does. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know what hair weight does in that. But yeah, once you have that, and once you have your hair completely done, and you have your head and everything, you're going to want to make sure everything looks good. So go ahead and preview it in your rendered view. So I'm going to go into rendered view right here. And I have a hair in my mouth. I'm just going to go into rendered view right here. And we can see that my face is looking pretty okay. I'm not the prettiest person, but it's looking pretty okay. And you've probably noticed my eyes are glowing. Your eyes will not be glowing. So how did I get my eyes glowing? Basically, that is from Emission Maps. This is my Emission Map. Okay, so you can make one of these. It's pretty easy. You can make these in different ways. So it looks kind of creepy, I know. But basically, all you need to know is everything is black except for the eyes, which have color data, and they're pretty bright. You're going to want whatever you're trying to emit pretty bright. You don't have to make it extremely bright, but it just don't make it like really dark. It works better if it's bright. Basically, all I did right here is I just took the original texture that Face Builder gave me. I exported it. I cut out the eyes in Photoshop, and then separated them onto a new layer. Put a color overlay so the rest of the texture is black, and then I just brightened these up and saturated them a little bit more. And then I exported this as a different texture, and it's an emission map. So how do you set that up? Basically, if you look at my head right here, and we go to my actual material, we can see that we have the original Face Builder texture, the normal texture over here, and that's just connected to a principal BSDF. But the principal BSDF is going into a mix shader, and an emission shader is also going into that mix shader. The mix shader is put into the material output. Now, this texture right here is our emission map. So, all you have to do is just put the emission shader into the color of the emission, or the emission texture into the color of the emission shader, turn the strength up to however much you like, and then put it in the mix shader, and that'll give you those glowing eyes. You can also do it with anything else. If you want to put a design on your face or something, or like a glowing scar, or like some kind of rune, you can also do that. Just put a photo of it onto a black version of your texture, make sure it's bright and everything, and just put it on an emission shader. And that's how you do that. Now, the body is very, very, very simple. I literally just got a rigged human mesh that I've used in quite a few videos and artworks. Cut the head off, and then put this thing on here. You can see that the neck doesn't really line up, but that's fine from the angle that we're viewing it at. And now this thing right here, is, I don't have that anymore, but this thing right here is that little rune that was on my chest, that like glowing blue rune. Basically all this is literally an image that I've imported in a Blender with an emission shader. It's not an emission shader, it's a principal shader, but you can see the alpha of it is put into the alpha because it does have transparency, and the color is put into the emission, and the emission strength is on 20. So, by default, Blender doesn't have an option to import images, but you can go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and then just type in Images, and then Import, Export Images as Planes. Just select that, and then save it. And once you have that, you can just go to File, Import, and then Images as Planes. Now, when you import an image as planes, I'm just going to select a random... no, I'm not. I'm going to select a random image. So you have these options over here. You have material settings, principled, shadeless, emit. Principled is just normal principled shader, just a flat image, nothing going on. Shadeless is, it's not shaded. It's only visible to the camera and reflections, as it says right here. And then emission is just an emission shader. It's that principled BSDF that we have right there. You can also uncheck use alpha if you want. If you don't want to use an alpha, if you don't want it to be transparent. But yeah, you can change the offset and position settings right here if you want, but I wouldn't really do that if you're importing an image. But yeah, that's that. And now all we have left, at least, is the lighting settings. So I have this cube right here, and this cube is a volume cube, my great friend volume cube. So this, I have everything set the same. The surface is disconnected. Make sure you don't have anything on the surface. If you do, you can just click this and click disconnect up at the top. And then under volume, just add a principal volume node. I kept everything the same. The density is at 0.02. Depending on your render, you could do whatever you want with this, however much volume you want. And then after that, I have another image that's planes right here of the moon with an emission shader set to 100 just to give some lighting in the scene. I also have a light right here. It's a point light with a blue hue with a power of 100 watts. Right here, it's the same thing except for 300 watts. And then down here, it's the same thing, except it's not the same thing. I messed up, my bad. It's an orange hue with a power of 350 watts, all set to 0.25 meters. All these cameras are just face builder cameras, the angles that face builder used to get your faces. Also, I should probably explain that once you get out of the face builder camera, your camera is going to be all wacky. Make sure to go into your render settings, change your render resolution back to whatever you want it to be, and then add a new camera by hitting Shift A and then camera. Name that camera something, and then go right here to this little triangle and 2 circles, and then just select the camera as whatever your camera is. Now this is my camera right here. You can see it's named Cam, and it's right here. So that's it for that. That's it for the lighting and stuff. Now the background are literally just these tree trunk models I got from Quixel Megascans to just put back here as anything. You can really use anything as your background. It's up to you. There's nothing actually in the world through here. It's just black. And that's it. And then this angel wing model is just a model I got off of Sketchfab. I just looked up angel wings model. And that's pretty much it. That's that. That is the model. That is how I turn myself into an angel using Blender. So a lot of it was done in post-processing, like Photoshop. But yeah, to add like glows and stuff. Also to add a glow, since you're making an angel and you probably want a halo. Halos, I forgot to mention that. Halo is Shift A, curve, Bezier circle, and then in this little curve icon, just change the bevel depth to 0.4, or yeah, 0.04, and that'll give you the circle right here. I like using Bezier curves because you can change the curve of it, so you can like warp your halo or something if you want. But yeah, that's what I use. And then after that, compositing. All I have for compositing is a denoise node and a glare node. The glare node is set to fog glow with the default settings. That just gives it a little bit more glow of everything. That gives it bloom, basically. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is how I turn myself into an angel using Blender. So thanks guys so much for watching. My name is Michael from Polygon Island, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.